Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pals Chat. I'm Gina Parker. I'm with my co-host Sadie Teal.
What's up?
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, shorter. I wanted to like shorten the undulation on that one.
Different every time. It's exciting. Sadie Teal, what are you watching or listening to or reading or whatever this week?
Well, honestly, I kind of want to talk about the show I just went to last weekend in Milwaukee because I'm a huge Sloppy Boys fan. They do a really funny podcast, and they're part of Birthday Boys, which is a sketch team that I really enjoy. I really am obsessed with that whole UCBLA comedy scene in like the late 2010s, Scott Ackerman, Comedy Bang Bang, all that stuff. So to like see Tim Kalpakis, he was like a foot away from me, and then I shook hands with Jeff Dutton, and I talked a little bit to Mike Hanford, and so I'm like still glowing from that because yeah, I'm obsessed.
That's awesome. So like
Hmm.
what's their vibe? Like what's the show about like the one you saw?
It was just like a party rock, like we're all drinking, having a good time, fun. And it was fun to be around like other fans too, because I think fandoms are really connecting. Like they've talked about it on their podcast where people literally meet on their Discord and like arrange to go to shows together. And one of the super fans, Dan Padley, apparently is a musician, like jumped on stage and played the guitar. So it was just like a fun show. And it was like a really intimate venue too, which was cool. So kind of absurd to do a weekend trip just to see that band. But I figure if I'm going to be selling my soul 40 hours a week at this shitty job, I gotta at least use the funds for stuff I like.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, how about you? What have you been watching?
This week I have been slammed with work and such, but I did go see that movie Challengers starring like Zendaya and the
Nice.
other two gentlemen whose names I don't recall. And there's the director Luca, and like I'm gonna mess up his name. What Luca, and he's done like a lot of stuff in the last few years, and everything he makes to me feels like a teenager's horny mood poem. But
Oh, you're talking my language with that.
I felt like it was tonally right for this movie. You know, like just a very horny movie where these three people, everyone's attracted to everyone, and everyone's hooking up with everyone, and there's like intense music playing that's even louder than the dialogue some of the time, but it feels intentional. It's a fun, horny movie. Like,
All right, I'm in. I had no idea about it, but now it's on the list. Yeah, you know what? What's kind of like a horny movie that I watched and I liked more than I expected to. Have you ever seen Spring Breakers?
which one's that?
Spring Break Forever. It's like James
Oh,
Franco with
James
dreads and
Franco
yes,
and Ashley Benson. I
yes.
want to say like
Selena Gomez.
Selena
Yeah, she was
Gomez.
like the innocent one that left. There's like I saw a YouTube video that was like how it's a story about meeting the devil. There's like some kind of metaphors going on, but I just thought it like stylistically it was really cool.
It was a yeah, Harvey somebody movie. Harmon, I want to say, but maybe not.
I don't know, and I'm sure has he done something else that you're thinking of or
He's like a known for making indie movies of questionable nature, but I mean it's sort of like in that Spring Breakers, kind of the dregs of society type movies he
mm-hmm.
makes. But he
Which
has
I
a big
do
following.
sample from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I actually really enjoyed that movie too. It was,
Mm-hmm.
just like a fun ride.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, James Franco was hilarious in it. I mean, he got really in character. Although he's awful, isn't he? We should not talk about him.
Right.
That's a guy that's on the list of like bad people. Okay. Fuck, there's so many.
It's true.
Hmm.
It's sad.
Unfortunate.
Well, at least you have the sloppy boys. You can count on them.
You know what? I do I don't trust anything. What if I heard tomorrow Timmy Kalpakis was doing some shit? I don't believe it. My heart can't go there. Is there anyone who you would be like so shocked if they were canceled? I feel like I would believe it for anyone almost.
Yeah, I think I would believe it for almost anyone.
Anyone. Doesn't matter. Because the charming ones, those are the ones that are dangerous.
I mean, there's some like I don't want to hear about. Like if Tom Hanks did something, I don't want to hear about it at this point.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to visualize it either. So yeah, please don't tell me about Tom Hanks.
They say Jason Statham's a nice guy. Like even his ex-girlfriends say he's the nicest guy.
Nice.
And Keanu Reeves is another one that everyone's like, he's pretty cool, not a creep.
Hmm. Those are the good ones. Okay.
Mhm.
We'll hang on to
Those-
those two tight.
They're safe ish. Though no one's safe, as we know. You're my
Absolutely.
celebrity actress friend who I'm
Haha.
saying is safe. You're safe?
I like that. Celebrity actress friend, is that how you're gonna refer to me?
Yeah.
Yes, please. More of that.
And I feel like Lady's safe. I've known her since she was like 5. So I feel like
Yes.
if she had done something, we'd have caught it, you know?
I don't know. She can be pretty sneaky. It might call for an investigation.
Uh, oh
I'm adding
no.
some plot line to the podcast so that when Lady returns, the whole soap opera has happened and we have questions.
I love it. I do miss Lady. She's gigging so hard, but I just can't get
She's
out of the
great
house.
too. I love like I went and saw her perform while I was out in California, and it was like, playing covers and stuff. But she did awesome. I love that band.
Our first clip is from 1979, and it's just Ruth and Kate and Tad, making cookies, and they're having a great time and they're happy, which is rare for soaps. So it was like a 1 minute clip.
Nice.
February 15th, 1980. So Palmer is hosting a masquerade party for Nina's 19th birthday, and his ex-wife Daisy sneaks in. So
Mm.
Palmer has big, like, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons energy. Okay.
Nice.
So before this, it's just like a bunch of families and they're living their lives hanging out. And then this millionaire,
Mm.
multimillionaire Palmer Cortland moves to town with his daughter. And he's like weirdly obsessed with her. And so he throws her this big party, but he's also been lying to her whole life, which is he told her her mother is dead. Really, her mother cheated on him and he banished her from their daughter's life and is just like, oh, your mother's dead. Well, Daisy has come back to town. She wants to see Nina, so she's skulking around this mansion as a huge masquerade ball is happening.
I'm getting so distracted by the screen below. Was it a bunch of slices of pizza they were taking out before? What was I seeing? This is the food that
Maybe.
they're prepared. Yeah, I don't know.
I
Sorry,
can't
keep
tell.
going.
I can't tell either. It's hard to know. Fancy
Hard to
food.
know. Fancy looking food and huge.
Hmm.
Anyway, keep going.
And then our other storyline from the episode is Benny's wife, Edna, is going out during this party. She's flirting with a man named Hank Ferguson. She's planning on cheating. So that's her whole deal.
Wow.
Our next episode is February 18th, 1980. Palmer hunts for Daisy through the masquerade ball. And then Wally upsets Devin when he stops by her play rehearsal. So Devin is
Ooh,
a girl in a previous episode who got pregnant after having sex for the first time by Wally. And so they ended up getting married, having the kid. And then she's doing a play with Sean Cudahy, this little scumbag. And she's flirting with him. She's into him. and Wally comes to support her in her play rehearsal. She kicks him out. They get a big old fight.
Oh man. How long the scenes are with just one character, like watching them put food on a plate for what was that, 3 minutes, and it's just that one, and it looked like it was the same vibe from that character the whole time, like, oh, I gotta get these treats. And then we just saw her in the mansion, la da da, like floating around. Is it a slower pace than like modern
It's a slower,
TV shows?
honestly, it was like I just watched these episodes and it was so
Mhm.
captivating. Like it was like so character driven and like they're really going for it. They're acting their little
Nice.
faces off in a way that I kind of respect.
I love that.
And so our next episode, the masquerade ball continues. Palmer threatens to kill Daisy and Myra. The Martins learn Phil is alive. Devin and Sean flirt at the theater. Uh, Devin and Wally worry about the state of their marriage. So I guess this is when Devin is thinking about Sean and picturing him while having sex with Wally. Then the Martins learn that uh, Phil is alive. He's been off at war. He calls on the phone, but no one can come to the phone because they're all at this masquerade ball. And then we have the masquerade ball, and then Palmer threatening to kill Daisy and Myra. So Myra is Daisy's mother, but she was also the woman putting the desserts on the platter you saw a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So she's secretly Nina's grandmother, but is not allowed to tell her. That's Palmer's
Wow.
condition for letting Myra be in Nina's life is that she works as hired help and and that
That's horrible.
she doesn't tell Nina that she's her grandmother. And she's agreed to this and done this. And then Daisy Palmer catches Daisy at the party, and Palmer threatens to kill them both. He tries to feed Daisy to his dogs and then shoot Myra. And
Wow. So,
My
Mr. Burns, you weren't kidding. Like, release the hounds
oh, we'll get to
happen.
that. And so Myra's like, I have a letter that's with a lawyer in town. And if you murder me, Nina's gonna get the letter saying I'm her grandmother, her mother's alive, and you killed us both. And so Palmer's like, fine, I
You
I
got me.
I won't murder you, but Daisy has to leave town and then Myra just goes back to working for him, unfortunately for her, but
That moment of like, oh, they're all at the party, so nobody's there to answer the phone, or else they would all know. Like, soap operas are so good at those moments of like, oh, if they'd only stayed a couple more minutes, they would have found each other, that kind of situation.
mm,
The frustration building of like, oh, but if only I gotta write something like that. That sounds fun.
yeah, something of that time too.
Oh yeah, and how did she sneak into the party? Did she like climb a wall? Did she like
So she
wear
was
a
in like
costume?
the servants' quarters with her mom, and then she snuck up to the attic, got an old costume, uh,
Oh yes.
and then put it on and was moving around the party. But he's like recognized her face under the mask and like was chasing her.
That's pretty funny. Was it like a Benny Hill type running through different doors and
Well,
like yakety
because
sax?
he's so murdery, it wasn't as. And after Myra negotiates Daisy's freedom, Daisy comes down the stairs, and you could see in this clip he was holding her shoe because he found it when she was running away from him. And she's like, "Give me my shoe back," and he just like throws it, and she bursts out laughing. And it's just like a lot of interesting character choices happening of like, yeah, you just threatened to murder me, but whatever, dude. Like you're a loser, you know.
That's
Yeah,
pretty funny.
fun times. And so our next episode is May 28th, 1980. So Estelle, who's a sex worker or ex-sex worker, is in the hospital. She's developed pneumonia, so she's married to her former pimp, Billy Clyde Tuggle, played by Matthew Cowles, who is the real-life husband of Christine Baranski. Christine Baranski actually comes on the show as one of his love interests at one point.
Now, should I know who Christine Baranski is? Is this somebody that you've already described to me that I've forgotten? Or is it a
Chris,
famous figure?
famous figure.
Okay.
Mamma Mia, The Good Fight, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version.
Oh, okay. Was she the love interest in that?
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly who you mean. She's
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah. And so she pops up as one of his love interests at one point because they were married in real life. But he's a pimp, and he's one of those where they play him as he's actually terrifying. Like he rapes people and beats people and women a lot of the time and does a lot of crimes, kidnapping, but also they play him also very highly campy. And so he's one of those
Mm.
villains that just keeps coming back over and over again for the entertainment factor, I guess. So in this one, he's beaten his wife, Estelle, because she refused to become a sex worker again.
Oh
And
my
she's in the hospital with pneumonia, and all her friends and family are rallying around her. Tad is growing up. He has a date with some girl named Suzanne, and they share a little kiss.
God.
And then we have Erica scheming to get back with Tom. So after the thing of like, you lied to me every time you took one of those pills and that giant fight they had, they kind of split ways. She tried to make it in Hollywood, it did not work. So she came back to town. He's seeing a chick named Brooke English, and she's not having it. So she's doing all these schemes. Oh, I have to have you come over because the safe's locked and I need you to open it. Oh, I came by today to talk to you about work or some favor. And well, while I'm here, why don't we just have breakfast? So she's just scheming to get back with
Mm.
him. He's not really having it at this point in time, but he's too nice and polite to like tell her to fuck off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where we leave them. So those are the episodes for this week.
Nice. You know, it's classic soap stuff. Are you super invested now? I mean, I think you've been invested from the start, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, like those longer scenes, especially the Palmer and Daisy Myra stuff, they're so weird and messed up. And we'll get into more of how Palmer's weird and messed up. Maybe. I don't know if we have the time. But it gets very gothic, and weird and
Nice.
strange. And that kind of goes away a little bit, comes back in the 90s in a fun, weird way. So, yeah, good
Can't
times.
wait. So where in the timeline are we now? We're in the 80s right now, right?
We're in 1980.
1980. Okay, cool. And this is the point where now all the episodes exist. You're not just bouncing around.
Oh no.
No, okay, still bouncing around different ones.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, like once we get to like the very end of 1986, I think we'll
that's when it's consistent. Does that frustrate you at all where you're like, man, I didn't see the resolution of that plot. Like I wish I could see that.
I wish I could see all of it, as much as
Hmm.
that they have. The reason soaps work for me is because I'm a TV junkie. It's like there's always more content. There's always more content. Like
Yes.
you never have to run out of things. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, all these gaps. Yeah, I'd like to see how all these different stories worked, or
Yeah.
didn't. You hear like I told you, there was reviews like All My Children is half real soap opera and half a parody of a soap opera. And I would have loved to see those episodes that are like, you,
Me
you know,
too.
you never know what's happening. Even just one episode of like they're making fun of themselves, but also someone's really about to die, like
It sounds like Twin Peaks or something, and that sounds awesome.
it does. So, yeah. Yeah, I do wish I could see the other ones, but we still have a lot to get through either way.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think we'll be making our way into 1981 in the next episode because there's just not that many episodes. So
Mm. All right, let's get into the 80s. Let's get all those like business shark guys. I'm imagining like the 80s trope villain character, like a Wall Street type guy. I'm trying to
mm,
think of other like 80s tropes that we're gonna see, but I guess they will reveal themselves in time.
I do think there's one of those guys. I think
Yeah,
that's coming.
cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sadie Teal. We'll
Thank
see
you.
we'll see you guys next week. Well,
Whoa.
bye.
Well, bye.
Thank you for listening. Our theme song is Wouldn't It Be Nice by Sound Mirage featuring Lady Rand. Please rate and review, download, subscribe, all the things. And you can email us at amcrewatch@gmail.com. Thanks. Talk to you next week.